Hello and welcome to Weather HQ. I'm Paolo del Rosario. This week, we're taking a closer look at some of the most pressing issues across the country, from preparations for possible typhoons to volcanic unrest and the emergence of an invasive fish species in one of the country's most important lakes. Up first, how prepared are we for the next storm? I spoke with Assistant Secretary Rafi Alejandro, officer in charge of the Office of Civil Defense, on the nation's readiness plans and response systems ahead of the peak typhoon season.
Based on our record, we have around 27,401 families or close to 83,000 individuals from 14 barangays ang affected population. And of course, displacement, we have 1,017 families na nasa outside evacuation center. And then ang inoperate lang natin na evacuation center, dalawa. And then, very minimal as far as damage and effect is concerned. Meron lang 40 flooded areas, pero 38 already subsided. But because of this re-intensification ni Bising, possible po na magkaroon pa rin ng prolonged monsoon rains sa Ilocos region and CAR, today and tomorrow. And then, of course, pag nagkaroon tayo ng maximum rainfall accumulation, posibleng magkaroon ng landslides or flooding sa areas ng Northern Luzon, specifically sa CAR, Region 1, Region 2, and parts of Region 3.
Asik, what are the most affected areas ng Bising and of course yung enhanced southwest monsoon?
So far, based sa report natin, Ilocos region pa rin, and then CAR, because of the Itogon incident. And then some areas of Mindanao na nahatak kasi yung monsoon rains natin, like Zamboanga, nagkaroon ng effect doon. But in general, Northern Luzon po talaga ang medyo apektado nitong Bising.
Asik, let's move on talking about yung general preparedness po ng OCD. When you take a look at the fact na sa typhoon season tayo ngayon, ano po ang mga improvements ng OCD in terms of disaster preparedness kumpara last year?
Ito ngayon, inaayos natin yung ating pagbibigay ng early warning through our conduct of enhanced or improved pre-disaster risk assessment na ginagawa natin prior to impact of any weather disturbance. So with that PIDRA po na tinatawag natin, nagkaroon na tayo ng assessment, we identify high-risk areas, and we deploy or preposition resources para doon sa mga kailangan, in anticipation doon sa pangangailangan sa area. But ang importante po dyan, yung ating preemptive activities to include preemptive evacuation, early warning, ay yun po ang ina-enhance talaga natin kasi, and our coordination of course with the different local government units kasi very dependent tayo unang-una sa what on the early warning, ano ang message natin, anong areas ang magkaroon ng impact, and then making sure that all efforts of government to include local government units are well coordinated para po maiwasan yung waste ng resources natin, and of course preemptive evacuation or preemptive actions to be undertaken by the people on the ground po.
Asik, naging challenge last year in particular yung data gathering and of course damage assessment coming from the field, especially from remote areas. What has been done to be able to address yung data gathering challenges sa mga remote at mountainous communities po natin?
Ito na nga, we have different platforms na gusto nating i-integrate yung available data. So kami sa OCD, we establish yung tinatawag na platform namin na Feel Aware. Nandun po lahat ng mga high-risk areas, mga critical infrastructures. And itong data na ito helps in the decision-making ng mga disaster managers natin, lalo na when we do our pre-disaster risk assessment. So, ini-integrate natin lahat ng mga available sources. Tinutulungan po tayo ng DOST dyan kasi meron din silang Hazard Hunter app, na nandun din yung mga data ng MGB, ng Phivolcs, ng Pag-asa. So, kailangan lang po gamitin ito and magkaroon ng proper assessment on the possible impact. So anticipatory actions po ang kailangan nating ma-establish dito kasi lahat naman ng information ay available na po online and through the database na nabuo ng pamahalaan.
Disaster preparedness and of course disaster response is an interagency effort po. Can you tell us a bit about yung coordination ninyo, in particular with the DPWH and other LGUs to ensure na pagdating ng typhoons, if and when they do come to certain areas, na maayos po ang emergency response po natin?
Oo. Pagdating naman sa coordination, na-establish na natin yan under the guidance po of President Marcos and Secretary Teodoro. Meron na tayong enhanced response cluster setup wherein coordination is made from the national hanggang local po. Nakalink po yung ating mga emergency operation centers. And then it is supported by another platform na tinatawag ni Secretary Teodoro or namin na Interagency Coordination Cell. Lahat po ng agencies nandoon, physical, nag-uusap-usap, checking on one data, one information, one map, looking at one map. At doon po talaga magkaroon lang ng unified decision, mabilis and implementable sa ground. So yun po, ang aming coordination ini-enhance natin through the adoption of the different tools and of course strengthening itong interagency coordination cell dito po sa Camp Aguinaldo under the leadership of Secretary Teodoro po.
Asek, there have been calls for more disaster resilient evacuation centers, disaster resilient, climate resilient rather, measures to make sure na even with the increasing effects due to climate change of yung mga extreme weather events po natin na handa po tayo, how far are we to ensuring na yung mga current setup po natin when it comes to evacuation centers, when it comes to the infrastructure present, is ready for these changing phenomena?
Opo, we thank the President for signing itong bagong batas natin, yung Ligtas Pinoy Act, wherein it mandates the establishment of permanent evacuation centers sa lahat ng mga local government units. So, dahan-dahan po natin na ina-identify saan ang areas na unahin, Kasi we are looking at a situation or a scenario wherein hindi na po tayo gagamit ng mga schools facilities, classrooms bilang evacuation center. So, ang pakay po nitong batas na ito na pinirmahan po ni Pangulong Marcos noong December, at kalalabas lang ng IRR na na-approve na po ni Secretary Teodoro ay we identify high-risk areas or priority areas para itayo itong mga evacuation centers na ito. So ito naman ay i-institutionalize yung nasa budget na rin ng DPWH na meron naman talagang kaukulang budget for evacuation centers. So dito unified na po, integrated yung pag-identify. And Interagency po ang mamamahala para matupad itong mga provisions nitong batas na ito. So, on that note, talagang nakikita natin yung priority in institutionalizing yung resilience agenda ng ating Pangulo na dapat permanent solution and the systems should be institutional para po tuloy-tuloy ang pag-build natin ng resilient.
Now, when we return, what's behind the continued signs of activity at the Taal volcano? Stay with us, Weather HQ. We'll be right back. Hello there, welcome back to Weather HQ. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Taal volcano may still be under alert level 1, but its ongoing unrest, including gas emissions and seismic activity, continues to raise concerns amongst experts and the communities nearby. Now, to explain what these signs means, here's my interview with Phivolcs resident volcanologist Taal Volcano Observatory, Mr. Paolo Reniva.
Last Sunday, July 6, at 3:37 in the morning, nakapag-record po tayo ng tremor. So yung tremor po na yung continuous. So in the afternoon, nung July 6, nag-release po ng advisory ang Phivolcs regarding the tremors. Tapos possible interpretation nung pwedeng idulot ng tremor na yon. So Phivolcs said that the possibility of a minor phreatomagmatic eruption or a phreatic eruption may occur. Kasi at the same time, simultaneous with yung occurrence ng tremor, yung previous day's measurement ng SO2 ay medyo mababa, which may indicate na napaplug yung singawan ng mga volcanic gas, specifically yung sulfur dioxide kasi yun po yung mini-measure natin. So, ang nangyari kasi doon is prior to that, nung June 15, nagkaroon ng mahinang phreatic eruption sa Taal early in the morning also at 5:55 in the morning. Kaya at nung time na yon, medyo tumaas din po yung real-time seismic amplitude or RSAM. Kaya nung Sunday, nung pagtaas ng RSAM at due to assessment na yung mga previous days measurement nga po ng SO2 bumaba, so nag-release po ng advisory ang Phivolcs na may possible pressurization sa Taal volcano.
How has the situation changed, Sir Paolo, since the increased readings a couple of days ago?
As of today's bulletin natin, continuous pa rin po yung tremor. So although bumaba na siya, yung amplitude niya or yung seismic energy niya medyo bumaba na po. Pero yung sa SO2, ongoing pa po yung survey for today.
Sir, right now nasa alert level 1 ang Taal volcano ngayon. What are the prerequisites to actually raise and elevate to level 2? And of course, what are we seeing right now at the moment when it comes to yung changes along the crater activity, and of course the gases steam in the surface po?
So for an alert level 1 status ng Taal volcano to be raised to alert level 2, so there should be mas maraming earthquakes, volcanic earthquakes madidetect natin, mas mataas yung SO2, may mga phreatic eruption na mas medyo may kalakasan. Yun po yung mga prerequisite para i-raise sa alert level 2. Kasi sa alert level 1, which is considered as low level unrest, although meron ding mga occurrence ng phreatic eruption, may mga volcanic earthquakes, at may sulfur dioxide na emissions na detected tayo, medyo mas mababa po yung threshold as compared to alert level 2.
How does this particular activity compare to other periods of unrest that we've had in recent years?
In 2021, after nung 2020 eruption, nagkaroon na rin po tayo ng mas maraming mga tremors. At yung mga activity nun po, yung maraming tremors, mga low-frequency volcanic earthquakes, yung mataas yung measured SO2 natin, nag-lead po yun halimbawa, nung July 1, 2021, nagkaroon po tayo ng phreatomagmatic eruption sa Taal volcano. At the same time, sa yung mga succeeding periods, nagkaroon po tayo ng mga phreatic eruptions. So, same po, nung June 16, May 29, at noong February 16 this year, nagkaroon pa rin po tayo ng mga phreatic eruptions. So, kaya nga po yung observation doon is, nung tumaas yung real-time seismic amplitude measurements, nagkakaroon po ng mga mahinang or minor phreatic eruption. So, kaya naglabas ng advisory is to forward the public po na ng ganung possible activity po.
Speaking of the public, we all know that Taal and the surrounding area, especially the Tagaytay area, talagang dinudumog ng mga turista. And of course, it is a high residential area. What danger does the current stage of Taal and the current activity level of Taal pose to the residents and tourists around the area?
Yung current activity is limited lang po sa Volcano Island. So, wala naman pong possible effects sa surrounding communities o municipalities and cities, including sa Tagaytay City. So wala naman po kami nakikitang escalation ng hazard na pwedeng umabot po sa mga lugar na yan po.
When it comes to alert level 1, syempre may mga tao pa rin that kapag nakita na, alert level 1 ngayon yung Taal. What safety measures should they take just in case it will elevate? And of course, for those wondering, ano nga ba yung mga tamang gawin when we are at an alert level 1?
So ngayon po sa status ng Taal volcano na alert level 1 and given yung prevailing activity niya na may tremor at may SO2 gases, ang recommendation ng Phivolcs is for Taal Volcano Island as ma-maintain yung no permanent habitation zone niya. Wala pong magve-venture sa Volcano Island kasi yun po mismo yung at least yung area na yun, yung volcano mismo po. Pero outside that po, wala naman kami nakikitang possible hazards.
Well, with this being at the alert level 1, has there been any coordination po with any other LGUs and of course government agencies in terms of monitoring yung activity ng Taal Volcano?
Phivolcs naman po is very active sa Office of Civil Defense, sa Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office ng Batangas, at sa mga local government units sa Coast Guard, sa PNP Maritime Group. So, continuous naman po yung coordination nila with us.
And when we return, an invasive fish species has been detected in Laguna, Dabay. What impact could this have on local fisheries? Find out after the break. Now, welcome back. You're still watching Weather HQ. I'm Paolo del Rosario. A non-native fish species called the Tinfoil Barb has been spotted in Laguna, Dabay. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR, has been tracking the species since 2021 and is now working closely with local agencies to contain its spread. To tell us more about what's being done, here's my interview with BFAR Chief Information Officer, Mr. Naz Briguera.
We would like to clarify that as early as 2021, there were already reports coming from the ground, particularly in Pagsanghan River in Laguna, that there is really spotted presence of Tinfoil barb. And from there, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources has responded actively to the issue, and in fact, we're able to retrieve around 1,399 kilogram since 2024, with a reported presence of Tinfoil barb in Pagsanghan River. But recently, there is actually a report, and it's based on the result of a study of some biologists from Ateneo de Manila University, confirming the presence of Tinfoil barb in Laguna, Dabay. But it's not yet that what we can say extensive in terms of its presence, but it should not be a reason to be complacent in terms of our response. Well, we have actually activated the Interagency Technical Working Group to come up with strategies on how to contain this another alien species that might compromise the ecological balance in Laguna, Dabay, Paolo.
You mentioned the word alien. Invasive is another word that we've been using to describe yung presence ng tinfoil barb sa Laguna, Dabay. When we talk about yung potential threat niya to the ecological balance, you mentioned that it is not quite a threat at the moment, pero yung potential nito, why is it important to monitor yung presence of tinfoil barb?
Well, as I've said, it could actually compromise the population of the native species, for example, in Laguna, Dabay, because the characteristics of this invasive species is it's very it's territorial. Is some of in fact, once we say it's invasive, it's also voracious or matakaw in Filipino. So it could actually prey on the fish larvae of the native fish species. It, if not contained, it could actually result to tight competition for dissolved oxygen level in the lake. If the population would grow rapidly and uncontrollably. So definitely it would be a threat to native fish species and to the ecosystem in general in the lake.
When we talk about yung methods for monitoring and controlling the population of the tinfoil barb, what has a BFAR currently implemented?
Well, if we could recall, there is not the first time that we have actually responded to the issue of invasive fish species in Laguna, Dabay. In fact, in the past, we have actually encountered the issue of knife fish proliferation, or the presence of knife fish in Laguna de Bay. But we are able to respond to the issue successfully. In fact, due to the effort, because of the effort of the Interagency Technical Working Group, from 40% in terms of catch, we're able to reduce it to 20%, around 20% of the catch in Laguna de Bay. So the retrieval effort was actually successful, and one of the strategies that we did for knifefish, for example, is that we develop value-added products out of knifefish. So we put some commercial value to knifefish in such a way that the people themselves are the ones retrieving the knifefish because it has already commercial value. They can actually turn it into fish balls, fish burgers. So there are value-added products developed out of knifefish. And for this tinfoil barb, in fact, we have already started in Pagsanghan, for example. Some of the catch retrieved from the river was actually donated to the Office of the Provincial Agriculture, and they process it into amino acid used as organic fertilizer for plants. So that's the strategy actually when it comes to responding to invasive species. So first retrieval, and then we should develop commercial value out of that invasive species, so that people would tend to catch them, and in the long run, the population will be contained, or it will be controlled, Paolo.
Yeah, you mentioned it is an interagency effort. Of course, we have to talk about the new partnerships with the LGUs in Laguna, and of course, Laguna Lake Development Authority, especially in creating value for yung tinfoil barb. How comprehensive is yung agreements and of course, working alongside these different organizations in terms of addressing this issue?
Well, the Interagency Technical Working Group has already been institutionalized, so there is already some sort of memorandum of agreement among the concerned government agencies, including the Laguna Lake Development Authority. And what the group is actually doing is to activate the strategies employed during the containment of knifefish in Laguna de Bay. So same strategies will be actually utilized, or will be employed as we now respond to the issue of tinfoil barb in Laguna de Bay.
Sir Naz, before we let you go, we're also curious as to why in the first place did tinfoil barb get introduced to Laguna de Bay? Do we have any idea kung ano pong origin nito? And of course, what can be done to prevent any more invasive species for becoming a problem sa Laguna de Bay?
Well, one possibility is that there are fish hobbyists who actually not able to carry out the control measure. So posible na ang report kasi during Typhoon Karen, I think if I'm not mistaken last year, yun yung naging dahilan para parang makawala yung or makapunta sa Laguna de Bay yung tinfoil barb. So that's one possibility. That's why what we are actually would like to emphasize is that our fish hobbyists should be responsible. In fact, there are actually foreign species, fish species, that you cannot just keep them as pet in your homes without the necessary papers. And we're actually tightening our regulatory measures pertaining to the issuance of permits for these fish hobbyists. Because if not regulated, this is really one of the negative impacts for not having a tightened measure to control these fish species kept as pets in their homes.
And that's a wrap for this week's episode of Weather HQ. Thank you so much for staying with us and staying informed. I'm Paolo del Rosario. We'll see you again next week, only here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.